He was once one of Hollywood's biggest stars, an A-lister who took movies like Braveheart and Lethal Weapon straight to the top of the box office. Audiences loved him. Studios trusted him. He had it all. But now his name stirs up something else. Racist, misogynist, homophobic. That's how he's known today. His rise to fame was explosive, and his fall just as intense. This career downfall is one of the most dramatic stories in Hollywood. So what exactly happened? What did the world find out about him? What did he do? One thing after another that made Hollywood turn its back completely. And more than anything, does he have any shot left at coming back? This is the story of a man once worshipped by millions, and now avoided by most. Like many public figures, his story begins long before fame, back in a strict, traditional household that helped shape everything that came after. Mel was born Mel Columkille Gerard Gibson on January 3, 1956, the sixth of 11 children. His name honored two saints, one from his mother's homeland of Ireland. He was raised in a devout Catholic family, where faith was central and rules were followed without question. His father, Hutton Gibson, was deeply religious and had strong opinions about politics, war, and the world. When the Vietnam War broke out, Hutton moved the entire family from New York to Australia to keep his sons out of the draft. Mel was 12 when they arrived in New South Wales. Life wasn't easy, money was tight, and the sudden move left its mark. He didn't fit in at school and was often bullied. That pressure pushed him to fight back, both with his fists and with his behavior. He started drinking early, hanging out in bars near his school. Despite this rough patch, Mel was close to his family. His mother supported him, and his sister played a life-changing role in his future. Without telling him, she sent his application to the National Institute of Dramatic Art in Sydney. Mel wasn't even planning to act, but when he got in, something clicked. He had always loved performing tricks and making people laugh at family gatherings. Now he had a shot at doing it for real. He showed up to his audition bruised and swollen from a bar fight, but it didn't matter. The admissions panel saw something in him. That lucky break set the stage for everything that followed. Once enrolled, Mel took his shot seriously, combining theater roles with side gigs just to stay afloat. He worked at factories and juice plants, doing anything to keep going. Acting was the only thing that kept him focused. His screen debut came in 1977 with Summer City, a small film with little recognition. But it got him on set, and that was enough. Then came the real break. In 1979, Mel landed the lead in Mad Max. Ironically, he hadn't even planned to audition. He was just giving his friend a ride, but producers noticed him and invited him back after his injuries healed. When he returned, they didn't recognize him. They offered the role. Mad Max was gritty, low budget, and intense. But it hit. The film became a cult classic, and Mel Gibson was suddenly a star. Within 2 years, he was leading Mad Max 2 and earning 10 times what he did before. He balanced film with theater, growing as an actor and expanding his range. This rise, as rapid as it was, gave Mel Gibson the fame and freedom he had only dreamed of as a young actor in Australia. He became a household name, a box office juggernaut, and one of the most powerful men in Hollywood. But the same raw energy that made him unstoppable in his early years would later spiral into something darker. The chaos we hear about today didn't suddenly appear, but built slowly and stayed with him. And it still hasn't left. What followed was not just scandal, but a series of choices and actions that shocked even those closest to him. Some called them mistakes, others called them crimes, but one thing is certain, that these moments changed the course of his career forever. In the early morning of July 28, 2006, Gibson was pulled over while speeding along the Pacific Coast Highway. He was doing 87 miles per hour in a 45 zone. His blood alcohol level was 0.12, well above California's legal limit. DUIs in Hollywood are sadly common. But what made this moment explosive were Gibson's words. During the stop, he grew agitated, tried to flee the scene, and unleashed a hateful rant targeting Jewish people. He was arrested, taken to the station, and the entire event was documented and later leaked. Gibson later apologized but also claimed victimhood. In a 2016 interview with Variety, he insisted that he had been recorded illegally by an officer looking for personal gain. "So not fair," he said. He spoke of grace, regret, and lack of control, but the damage was done. That night would follow him for the rest of his life. The 2006 DUI was not an isolated moment. It was part of a deeper pattern. In a 2010 GQ interview, actress Winona Ryder shared an uncomfortable exchange at a party, where Gibson allegedly joked about the Holocaust, specifically referencing crematoria. In 2015, during an interview with Reader's Digest, Gibson cast doubt on the number of Jews killed during the Holocaust, saying, "They said it was 12 million, then it was 6, now it's 4. It's that kind of numbers game. Things escalated further with his public feud with screenwriter Joe Esteros. The two were working on a film about the Maccabees, a Jewish revolt against the Roman Empire. But Esteros accused Gibson of killing the project due to hatred, writing in a letter, "I've come to the conclusion that the reason you won't make the Maccabees is the ugliest possible one. You hate Jews." Gibson denied the accusations and painted himself as misunderstood. But the accusations didn't stop with anti-Semitism. In 1991, Gibson gave an interview to El País, a Spanish newspaper, and made a series of derogatory remarks about gay people. He mocked the way they talk, dress, and move. Years later, Winona Ryder recalled the same party incident where Gibson asked her gay friend if he would get AIDS by standing too close. Gibson called her a liar, and his reps denied the account. But the quotes and the pattern were hard to ignore. These repeated moments painted a picture that Hollywood could no longer defend. The man once seen as a charming rebel had become a symbol of intolerance, and as public pressure mounted, the industry pulled away. Between 2006 and 2016, Mel Gibson, once the face of Hollywood, appeared in just 6 films. He wasn't officially blacklisted, but for all practical purposes, he had vanished. Yet even then, some voices called for forgiveness. In 2014, journalist Allison Weiner wrote an op-ed for Deadline, urging the industry to move on. She pointed to the Passion of the Christ and the idea of redemption, asking, "If we can forgive the sins of characters, why not the man who created them?" Gibson welcomes the support but struggled to understand the outrage. In one interview, he asked, "Forgive what to begin with? What did I do, really?" Despite all this, his talent still found its way back into the spotlight. In 2016, Gibson directed Hacksaw Ridge, a gritty war drama that received 6 Oscar nominations and won 2. Critics praised the film's direction, and some believed Gibson might finally be returning to form. In 2022, he appeared in 7 different films, including Father Stu and Bandit, suggesting that his acting career was once again picking up momentum. But while anti-Semitic and homophobic remarks stained his reputation, the most disturbing chapter in Gibson's personal life was yet to come. In 2009, following the end of his decades-long marriage to Robin Moore, Gibson went public with a new relationship. He and Russian singer Oksana Grigorieva welcomed a daughter, Lucia, that same year. But behind the scenes, the relationship was already falling apart. In June 2010, Grigorieva filed a restraining order against Gibson. She claimed he had hit her repeatedly, breaking her tooth and giving her a concussion. Audio recordings soon surfaced. In the tapes, Gibson could be heard threatening Grigorieva, using racist and violent language. The recording shocked even those who had defended him. At one point, Gibson offered her $15 million to keep the tapes private, but she refused. She later said, "This is about standing up to domestic violence." Gibson did admit to slapping her, but said it was to bring her back to reality. During what he described as an emotional breakdown, a lengthy custody battle followed. In 2010, a settlement was reached. Grigorieva received $750,000, with the condition that she couldn't speak publicly about the abuse. It was another turning point. No longer were the scandals limited to harmful words or bad interviews. Now there were bruises, court cases, and legal documents. The kind of damage that doesn't fade with time. And with the public eye already turned on him, something bigger was happening in the background. Something that would stretch far beyond one man's downfall. During Gibson's time away from the spotlight, a different kind of chaos was rising. the storm of conspiracies and rumors about Hollywood's darkest secrets began to pick up speed. These weren't just whispers in the corners of the internet anymore. They were everywhere on talk radios, blogs, YouTube channels, even primetime news. The idea that Hollywood was a breeding ground for evil wasn't new, but this time it had evolved. In the 2000s and 2010s, the so-called satanic panic had resurfaced, fueled by viral theories about the Illuminati, secret societies, and hidden messages planted in pop culture. Famous names started showing up in conspiracy threads. Jay-Z and Beyoncé were constantly accused of being Illuminati members. Their secret hand signs seen as proof of loyalty to a secret order. Beyoncé flashing a triangle at the Super Bowl, or Jay-Z's "On to the Next One" video filled with skulls, crosses, and dripping blood became talking points. A photo of Beyoncé in front of Andy Warhol's Last Supper mural, blocking out Jesus with her body, only added fuel. When big tragedies happened in Hollywood, they were seen not as accidents, but as sacrifices. Conspiracy theorists said Kanye West gave up his mother for fame, that Amy Winehouse tried to escape the system and was silenced. A comment from Amy in an interview didn't help. One of them tried to mold me into a big triangle shape, and I said no. There was never any solid proof. No leaked documents, no confessions, just symbols, rumors, and a mountain of speculation. But the attention didn't die down. In fact, it grew. Some celebrities started playing into the hysteria, knowing the buzz would get them clicks. Lil Nas X released a sneaker with real human blood and danced on the devil in a music video. It was shock marketing, and it worked. Others took it further. There were actual recorded moments of stars thanking Satan in award speeches or openly joking about selling their soul. People chalked it up to satire, but it kept the conspiracies alive. And soon the theories weren't just about music or symbolism. They turned political. That's when things got darker. The same people convinced that Hollywood was full of morally bankrupt celebrities began to believe there was something more sinister going on behind the scenes. Claims surfaced about child trafficking rings and global elites torturing kids to harvest adrenochrome, a chemical supposedly used to keep the rich young and powerful. Adrenochrome is real, but not in the way these theories claimed. It's a byproduct of adrenaline, and there's no science proving it has any rejuvenating effect. Still, the conspiracy connected to old anti-Semitic myths, like the horrifying case in 1475, where Jews in Trent, Italy, were falsely accused of sacrificing a child for ritual purposes. That lie led to mass torture and executions. Now the same logic was being repackaged for the internet age. Wild stories about spirit cooking dinners involving politicians, celebrities, and disturbing performance artists like Marina Abramovich were used as evidence. One of her invitations to a dinner with John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, sparked the now famous Pizzagate conspiracy. Abramovich's art involved blood, cryptic instructions, and shocking visuals, enough to convince conspiracy theorists it was all part of something more than performance. Add Lady Gaga sipping red liquid at one of her installations, and rumors only grew. No proof was ever found that these events were anything more than bizarre art pieces. But to conspiracy believers, it didn't matter. It was enough to look suspicious. Believers felt like they were putting together a puzzle the rest of the world refused to see. And once former President Donald Trump began attacking the media for pushing fake news, people became even more skeptical of official narratives. Fact-checking turned into obsession. Questions turned into rabbit holes. Some of the theories became completely unhinged, that global leaders were actually reptilian aliens, that they consumed children's blood for youth, that the Vatican was part of it all. Clips of QAnon followers showing off their Q clock and decoding cryptic online posts started making rounds. They didn't just distrust the media, they believed they were in a secret war with evil itself. Then something happened that made even the most grounded people stop and wonder. Jeffrey Epstein. A name that exploded into public consciousness and gave conspiracy theorists what they saw as their biggest win. Epstein wasn't just some fringe figure, he was rich, well-connected, and had access to some of the most powerful people in the world. He was arrested for running a trafficking ring of underage girls, a real confirmed global sex crime network that involved private jets, private islands, and guest lists that included A-list names. And then, before he could go to trial, Epstein was dead. Officially, it was ruled a suicide, but few accepted that explanation. Security footage was missing. Guards had fallen asleep. Cameras were mysteriously malfunctioning. With Epstein's death, the secrets he held died with him. Or at least, that's what the public was told. No name was released, no arrests were made. Aside from Ghislaine Maxwell, no one else in his inner circle was publicly charged. The silence that followed only deepened the belief that someone powerful had covered it up. So now when conspiracy theorists look at Hollywood and see signs of corruption, they feel justified, not because of a video or a tweet or some strange performance, but because something real happened, and nobody ever truly answered for it. And it's in this environment, this perfect storm of mistrust, rumor, and truth, that Mel Gibson's name started surfacing again. But this time not as the villain, but as the whistleblower, the man calling it all out. As conspiracy culture gained traction and whispered about Hollywood's darker side got louder, something unexpected happened. Mel Gibson saw this as the perfect moment to step back into the spotlight. It was a chance to not only revive his career, but also to speak on a topic he'd been hinting at for over 2 decades: human trafficking. In 2023, he returned to the public eye as the executive producer of Sound of Freedom, a low-budget action thriller about a U.S. federal agent who goes rogue to rescue trafficked children in Latin America. The film made over $180 million at the domestic box office, but it didn't come without controversy. Critics were quick to condemn it, not just for its narrative, but also because of the people behind it. Jim Caviezel and Tim Ballard, both of whom have ties to QAnon and extreme theories about elite pedophile rings and adrenochrome harvesting. To many, the movie felt like a vehicle for conspiracy rhetoric. Yet others, including many of Gibson's supporters, felt differently. They argued that regardless of how exaggerated or dramatized the plot was, the film at least put a crucial issue, child trafficking, on the table for discussion. That alone made it worth supporting. Mel Gibson's appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast added more fuel to the fire. While he didn't mention Hollywood directly, his words carried a heavy undertone. He spoke about spiritual warfare, about unseen battles between good and evil, and about humanity being caught in the middle of it all. These weren't the ramblings of a man chasing fame. They were the beliefs of someone who had seen too much and remained convinced something darker was unfolding in plain sight. In today's Hollywood, the political pressure is almost impossible to escape. Actors, musicians, producers, they're all expected to pick a side. And if they don't, they're crucified for staying silent. That environment, paired with decades of abuse allegations and resurfacing horror stories from former child stars, has made people more skeptical than ever about the industry. Names like Dan Schneider are no longer protected by silence. Now when celebrities speak out, they're met with support instead of being blacklisted. Even Donald Trump took notice, naming Mel Gibson a special ambassador to help fix Hollywood. A move many dismissed as performative, yet it showed just how far Gibson had come from being cast out to being seen, at least by some as a voice of reason in a collapsing system. In the end, Mel Gibson wasn't just another actor with a fall from grace. He was and still is a warning, a flawed messenger delivering a message people didn't want to hear, but maybe needed to. Whether you believe his theories or not, one thing is clear: Hollywood isn't what it seems, and maybe, just maybe, it never was. So now the question is, what do you believe? Let us know down in the comment section down below. And if this shook something in you, share it, because the moment we stop asking questions is the moment we let the illusion win.